Hello everyone, good afternoon. So welcome to this highly anticipated media press conference. I'm really excited to have each and every one of you here as we prepare to unveil something extraordinary. The grand launch of Fight Club Philippines Resort. So let's have a round of applause everyone. So before we go further, I just want to introduce Fight Club Philippines Fitness Resort. It is not your typical getaway destination. It's a fusion of luxury and fitness that promises an unforgettable experience for all of our guests. We've created a haven where champions are made, where guests can embrace their passion for fitness while indulging a top-notch hospitality. So, with us today, we have the incredible people who are instrumental in making this dream to a reality. So allow me to introduce to you Mr. Randy Bayas, Ms. Donna Bayas, and Sir Gani Santos, our founders, our owners of Fitness Club Philippines. So of course, our special guests also for today are our partners from the media, our influencers, who will be our instrument to getting to know more about Fight Club Philippines, about what they have for us for this month. So without further ado, I'll give the mic to the first our first media partner who wants to ask their first question for the day. So anyone? You can address any of our very esteemed owners, partner, founder. So, yes.
Hello po, I'm Helen from Palawan News. I just want to ask, what was the inspiration for Fight Club Philippines?
So during the beginning of the pandemic, I was in a position where I was leaving my company and I wanted to go on a fitness vacation. So I went to Thailand. And I went to a similar business there and trained for 6 weeks with my wife and our kid. And we had a fantastic time. And we were locked down there. And then when we left, we went to the Philippines and we stayed locked down with our family for 6 months in Pampanga. And we were just talking about what we wanted to do next in our lives. And we had both, developed this passion for boxing. And we felt that maybe it made sense to go build one of these businesses here in the Philippines. And as we did our research, we realized that although there are 20 or 30 of these kinds of fitness resorts in Thailand, there are none outside of Thailand in Southeast Asia. And as we all know, the Philippines is a center for boxing, right? It's even a center for MMA these days. And so we just realized that it would be a really amazing idea to bring the first fitness resort to the Philippines. And so that's what inspired it.
So, I did ask earlier, it was the first fitness resort that was built, not just in Palawan, but the entire nation. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's the very first.
So, why Palawan specifically? Why choose this wonderful place as your venue?
Right. So during the pandemic, while we were locked down, the question was, where would we do this? And as we looked around the Philippines, we got to know Palawan kind of from afar, right? And it had a reputation for being the number one, tropical island in all the world in Travel and Leisure magazine multiple years running. So we started doing our research and we realized that we could really pretty much provide the best of everything for people who wanted to come and have a fitness holiday. They could come here, bring their family, train Monday through Friday, eat healthy food, and then on the weekends go out and do eco adventures, go scuba diving, snorkeling, island hopping, all those kinds of things. And it just seemed like sort of the perfect combination. And so that's why we wound up in Palawan.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ivo from DYPR and Palawander.com. I think I did an interview before with Miss Donna about the inspiration for this one. Could you update us what are the latest amenities and, of course, some development right now before your grand opening this September, right? Yes, September.
Hi, Ivo. Thank you for always supporting us. Well, a couple of months ago, when you guys were here, it wasn't fully functional here. We didn't have the restaurant yet, the rec hall. and we didn't have the swimming pool. So right now, pretty much everything, 90% of the things that we have here in this in the resort has been completed, except for the landscaping. So yeah, we have our swimming pool completely done, and we also have our rec hall fully functional now. If you guys check out the rec hall right now, you know we have our the best kitchen, I think, in Palawan. You know, because we have the macros and calories count, so it's definitely like healthy, you know, living in this place now.
I'll just follow on with that a little bit. So the plan had always been to be family friendly. And if you think about it, if somebody wants to bring a family here and their kids don't want to train, right, or maybe the wife or the husband doesn't want to train, only one of them wants to train, then you have to have something for people to do, right? We're out in the middle of the rainforest. You can't walk out into the Bayan, right? So the idea with the rec hall was to make sure that not only was there a restaurant and cafe on the bottom, but on the second floor, we're going to have table games, board games. We have a video game room that also allows for videoke. So a family here, the kids can keep themselves entertained. They can go swimming in the pool. They can go to Noctaban Beach. They can play around at the rec hall. And so there's a lot of extra things that people can do besides the training and the wellness that we provide.
A little addition to it, and our wellness spa area is pretty much done as well. So you know, after you train a long day of training, you know, you can just relax and do foot spa or massages and stuff like that. So if a wife or you know someone that if a client who doesn't want to train, you know, they can just chill out in the rec hall and you know at the spa area.
Just to follow up, I think I remember the last time you mentioned about this cascading swimming pool at sort of a Bali-inspired thing. Is that, I mean, going to be reconstructed within this year, or what's the plan for that?
The infinity pool? Oh, the Jinjoban.
Yeah.
So this is a great question. So we're starting small, right? I mean, probably a little bit larger than most of the resorts around here, but we're at 10 rooms to begin with. But the gym and the rec hall are sized for us to get to 40 rooms. And our ambition is over the next 3 to 5 years as we ramp up customers to actually be able to expand our services. So get to 40 rooms total over time. And then in terms of expanding our services, a lot of their initial focus is on the fitness side, but on the wellness side, we want to expand. So the Koreans have this lovely idea called the Jinjoban, which is a spa that has sauna, hot and cold water plunges, massages, smoothie and protein bar. There is one here in the Bayan. It's called W. It's right across from Robinson's. So it would look a lot like that. So we plan to have an extra building at some point that would be a dedicated Jinjoban in the Korean style. So, you know, you can imagine you train in the morning hard for 2 to 4 hours. Then you've got a 4-hour break. You can go relax, get a massage, take care of your body, cold plunge, hot plunge, sauna, get everything relaxed, get a massage, take a nap, have your lunch, be all ready to go train again in the evening.
Okay. And are you building that right now, or?
No, that'll be something that we add as we go. At the moment, you know, we had to be smart about how we started. So we're starting small, and then we'll be expanding over time.
In terms of the market, because again, Fight Club is quite very far from the city, so only those have the service and you know the van, something like that. Pia, what is the target market? I mean, you know, kasi parang ano, yeah, that the image is, you know, for the A-class people only.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the buy-in in a second, but there's basically 5 initial target customer segments. So the first is international tourists, urban professionals, usually with their families, who want a different kind of holiday. The same people that would go to Thailand to go to those similar fitness resorts there, or who are just looking for something different, right? I mean, they could go to Europe with a family of 5 for a couple of weeks, but they would spend a ton of money, or they can come to the Philippines, to a beautiful tropical island, and spend a lot less money, but have a much better experience in many ways. So that's number one. Number two is digital nomads. So we expect there to be folks who, travel from country to country, they work online and they spend, 3 to 6 months of time and then they move on to the next country or next city. The third is Filipino families, ones from all around the Philippines who are looking for a different kind of holiday, something that hasn't existed here, and it's easier to travel within the Philippines than to go somewhere else, say like Thailand. And then the fourth is professional fighters who want to do a fight camp. So for example, Albert Cadara is coming tomorrow. He's got a fight on the 30th, and he's doing his fight camp here where he's bringing his coach, and he's going to be very focused on preparing for his fight. And then the fifth is international backpackers who are coming here, maybe want a cheaper accommodation, but they care about sort of their fitness program. They don't want to give it up. They're usually students who are pursuing advanced degrees, civil engineering, computer science. We've already seen a number of these. As to the buy-in, we are not, if we were a gym, we would have located in the buy-in. We are not a gym. We are a resort. So if we're a resort, where do we want to be? We want to be near the beach. So we're near the beach. We want to be out in nature. We're out in nature. It's just that we have a focus around fitness and having a large gym that no other resort has, and having training programs that are designed for people who want to be not just at the resort, but have the whole training and wellness regime at it, right? So that's why it's different. So that being said, what we have discovered since soft opening is that there are a lot of people in the buy-in who have an interest. And yes, it is more of an A or B class type resort, and that's fine. So we are getting a van, and we will actually run a shuttle service into the buy-in for those folks who want to come in. And maybe it's harder to get here. And that'll be something we'll be running every day as soon as we finish acquiring that van.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. I also want to ask, since this is obviously we're located in Battleground, so we are involved. Assuming that we're involving in fitness resort, you're going to have activities that take into account the local landscape. So what type of activities, for example, would you or do you already have plans for local activities that involve the forests of Bakungan or the beaches of Bakungan or any other? Yes.
Actually, meron tayong mga courses na offer dito, and of course, we are getting partnered with the Kite Palawan. So we also offer on the weekends, we can take our clients or our customers at Nagtagon and give them surfing lessons. And at the same time, we're also partnered with some of the, we're trying to be partnered with some of the tourist, what do you call this? Travel agencies to para dali natin kunyari sa underground river, yung mga malalapit na mga falls dito, yung mga undiscovered waterfalls dito, so that hindi lang yung mga kilalang mga part ng Puerto Princesa, kundi yung mga virgin part ng Puerto para yes.
I also do want to ask, since Fight Club Philippines, this is the first time, do you have any further plans to expand? For example, if the resort does really well here in Palawan, especially I've heard earlier that you have goals for 3 years, 5 years. Do you plan to expand Fight Club Philippines elsewhere, maybe outside of Palawan, or do you plan to grow the business here?
Definitely. Let's just hope that, we make it here, and, as far as running right now, I think like we can, and we're definitely going to expand in the future, around the Philippines.
So, I come from the tech industry, Silicon Valley, and I spent 30 years in the tech industry, and I would say that I'm a very ambitious person. So yes, we would love to expand outside of Palawan, but it's obviously not our focus right now. Our focus right now is to make business successful here, to integrate ourselves into the community here, to make a difference in Puerto Princesa, to really change and bring a whole new class of tourists here. And then, we'll see what happens in the future, but the sky's the limit. I mean, there's 30 of these businesses in Thailand, so I don't see any reason why we can't get this going and then expand further in the Philippines.
So I have last two questions. So I do want to ask if For example, the staff here that you employ, are they also people from the local communities? And also, do you plan to integrate, for example, the local fitness team or the sports team? Since we do have that, but they're not as well known, since Palawan is just mostly a tourist island instead of having those kinds of athletes. So do you have plans for?
Well, that's a great question. So some of my background, back in the U.S., I did a lot of social justice work. So, I wasn't super keen to the boxing and all that, but of course I am now because I'm training with a bunch of people here or great coaches that we have. But I'm more on into community service. So like right now here in Bakungan, a lot of our employees are from here. Just building the community and making sure that, we contribute. We have, we have this goal, like at least like I have this goal, in the future that, after this, if this go off and, we are very successful, we will definitely like, do a lot more of that community work, like, helping out other, communities here in Palawan.
Also, in addition to that, nung nakaraang bagyong audit dito sa Pilipinas, we actually reached out to the community and picked some of the yung mas nasiraan ng mga bahay, and we gave them donations. We raised money for them. And of course, we went to different parts of Bakungan and gave some help, some food, some groceries sa kanila. So we really love Bakungan. Yung mga tao dito is very special to us. They've been kind to us. They have been very welcoming, and they've been very, very warm.
To the question about sports community, I believe you were telling me that the volleyball team was a national volleyball team. So we have the women's national volleyball team that's coming here to spend time here. When we started this business, and more recently, what we've seen is a lot of confusion. Part of it's the name, Fight Club Philippines, so people don't necessarily equate it to a fitness resort right away. And so one of the things that's happened is a lot of people think that we are a boxing promotions company, that we have a stable of fighters. That's not the business. However, what we found is that when we started participating in the community sports events, like the amateur boxing match that was held in Bacolod during their 10th anniversary founding, we found that we wound up adopting by accident some amateur fighters. So every day we actually have about 5 amateur fighters that come here and train with the coaches. They're Bacolod kids, and we just adopted them, and we take care of them, and we've been sponsoring them to their amateur events, and that's been great. So we are integrated into the local sports communities. We're doing stuff with them. We're looking at doing things for Ironman. We've been talking to some of the international Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu groups, which are doing events. There's one in November that they do in Coroa, and that one moves around. So next year we might sponsor them and have an international Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu event here. And we're well integrated into the boxing community in general in the Philippines. Coming at the end of this month is Adito Villamor, who is one of the head trainers of Ala Productions, which produced Dani Nietes and Nonito Danere. And he's amazing. He's out of Cebu. We got Albert Pagara coming tomorrow. He's also out of Cebu. We have Pau, who we've had a long relationship with Pau Cass, who's come and visited us. We have a good relationship with JC Manankil out of General Santos City, who's had Sandman Boxing, who's had a bunch of world champions recently. So, we think it's really important to be integrated as part of the Palaweño community and sports community, but also the general Philippines sports community. It's good for us, and, we just like it. We just enjoy it.
It's good to hear. Thank you very much.
Can we talk about the Battleground? What will happen at the Battleground? How many local boxers are competing? I believe these are non-title fight. All of these are how do you call that? How do you call this? A show. showed amateur. No, it's an amateur.
It's a pro-am event.
Okay.
So what happened was, when we were looking at doing this grand opening month, what we wanted to do was we wanted to do a lot of events starting today, going all the way through September 1st, and just have a lot of activities. And so there's some small events and there's some big events. One of the big events is this boxing event. This is a pro-am event. It's both boxing and MMA. It's got some exhibition fights. It's not a pro fight, and the reason was just that we ran out enough time to coordinate with the games and amusement board. And also, we're not really promoters, right? I mean, we're not going to do a lot of fights to make money. That's not our business. This is really just something for the community. We're working with the city of Puerto Princesa on it. We just try to figure out the easiest way to have a good fight with some really awesome judges. We have Albert Pagaro is going to be one of the judges. Jenilyn Olson, who's out of Baguio, is an MMA champion. She's going to be one of the judges. Claudine Veloso, who just won a gold medal at the Southeast Asia Games in kickboxing, is going to be one of the judges. So we've got this kind of like all-star celebrity panel of judges. So there's cool people there. We got Pao to be an announcer. So we're bringing, something that I don't think has been seen here much before, right? There are amateur fights a lot around here. There might even be some pro fights every now and then, but there's not something like this, which is a little bit more of a celebrity event. And it's really about Fight Club Philippines. And it's just that the fight is to showcase kind of, the different folks. Now, unfortunately, Rodell bailed out on me. One of our, you can answer which one. How many locals?
Yeah. How many match games that will happen?
Well, we will have 11 bouts. I think 6 MMA. So it's a very short game events. Because most of the time, when we have like boxing or MMA games, it's like it would take 5-6 hours. But we only have 11 bouts, so 5 MMA fights, and then we have 6 boxing fights.
Locals. All of them are local.
We have 5 people that are going to fight here, and then the rest are locals.
I heard Bagara is competing with our local boxers.
Yes, so it's a exhibition. So the Pride of Palawan, Lawrence Rosas is going to have it with Bagara, on the 12th. So that's going to be super, super exciting to see.
Yes, this is really just about having fun. We're bringing in some sponsors, food, drinks, just everybody sort of enjoy the event. It's not a big pro fight.
And what's the next after the Battleground?
So we've got a beach day where we're going to do surfing exhibitions, and we're going to do some beach training, and all of our coaches will be there. Nina's organizing a bunch of things. We'll be in the Bayan at a bunch of the different resto bars on different days doing giveaways, free merchandise at all these different places. We've got, what other events do we have, Nina?
We have the parade, motorcade.
We have the parade and motorcade on September 1st. A bunch of free training days. I think, some free days where we're doing yoga and Zumba and things like that. So there's just like all these constant little small events. Like I said, that van will be running back and forth to the Bayan. So if people want to come up and train free for a day, they'll be able to do that and be able to enjoy the lovely scenery.
I heard aside from Bagara, there are famous Filipino boxers coming here also for a fight club. Can we reveal their names?
Yeah, so the biggest one who's coming is Donnie Nietes, 4-time world champion. So he'll be here along with Edito Villamor at the end of August. They'll be part of the parade, and they'll be part of the launch party at the end of on September 1st. And Donnie Nietes will be a guest coach here for about 5 to 6 days, where if you want to train with a 4-time world champion, you would have that opportunity. That will not be on a free training. So we tried for a few others, but it was a little difficult. It'll be really mostly Pagara, Donnie Nietes, Jenilyn Olson as an MMA trainer. And then, of course, we have our locals, Rosas and Rodel Reyes, who is got a WBO World Championship and MMA World Championship.
All right. For Sorgani, at your time, can you tell us what are the kind of foods that you serve here in FCP? I believe, of course, we try some of that and we love it. But what can you tell, or in very what are the unique kind of food that you offer here?
Basically, it's mostly Filipino and some of it are fusion. Some of the dishes that we serve are my own recipe and some of the chef's recipe. So it's basically a fusion of Western and Asian cuisine. And of course, it's not only that. We also make sure that during the last interview, I mentioned this, we have the macros for it so that you're sure that whatever you're taking, whatever you're eating, you know exactly what you're eating. Well, about the macros, there's like 4 types of macros. There's the calories, the protein, the fats, and the carbohydrates. So we measure the exact amount of those macros para alam niyo kung ano yung kinakain ninyo. At the same time, if you're building muscles, we can give you some other dishes, or we can offer you different dishes for building muscles. Or if you're losing weight, we can also have the options, some dishes for losing weight as well. And of course, we also have detox shots now. Since I've heard that most of the clients here, they treat FCP as like a detox kind of a center. So if you're like drinking like a whole month and then you go to FCP, there's no alcohol in here, we can detoxify you. We're actually planning to have a detox sort of like a detox program here so that, people who wants to, get away from the city, get away from the nightlife and all, they can stay here, relax, a bit of R&R.
Thank you. Last question from me. I'm just curious because you are a sports, related establishment. But in terms of emergency, like, do you have like the ambulance team, the doctor or the nurse, for whatever reason? Because again, this is contact sports. Yeah, far away from the city.
Yes, I actually coordinated with the barangay over here, so in case there's an emergency, they can respond right away. We have a very good relationship with Kapitan Gina here in Bakungan, and they're very supportive, of the whole thing. So if we have an accident or something like that, they can definitely assist us. And also we have a doctor on call. So if something happened here, we can definitely call, right away, and they all come here.
All right, thank you.
I'll just add on to that, we have very professional coaches and they know what they're doing and they know how to dial in the training level to be appropriate for whoever the customers are. So we don't really anticipate any accidents. But one of the reasons we're in Puerto Princesa is because even though we're far from the Bayan, it's not that far, right? I mean, to get to Adventist is really 30 minutes. If we were in El Nido, where's the hospital? We were in Coron, where's the hospital, right? So that's one of the reasons that we're here. We're just far enough away from the city so that customers who want to come and focus on detox or focus on training and not be tempted by, all the adventures they can have in the Bayan proper are far enough away that it's hard to get there. They can really focus, but we're close enough that the hospital is actually in reasonable distance.
Hello po, good evening. My name is Monica. I am Isla Palawenya. Well, tomorrow we'll have the Palawan, I think, or Puerto Princesa will have a total blackout. So is FCP prepared for blackouts? Or is FCP blackout free? That's my question.
So we do have a backup generator. We are, though, still currently on temporary Palaco power. They should hopefully finish installing the main power any day. At that time, we'll have 150 kVA with 150 kVA generator and an automated transfer switch. So power will go out for a few minutes and then it'll come back on when the generator comes on. The internet itself, the internet service is Starlink, so it's very high speed. All of the components for the internet service are running on UPS, so in the case of power outage, you actually have no internet service loss. And we're totally prepared for blackouts. We have our own water supply here on site. We have the backup generator, and over time we'll have more and more redundancy in services. So we plan to be able to operate when all of Puerto Princesa is dark. And if you remember from Typhoon Odette, when it hit, the after effects were that there wasn't even internet service. With our Starlink, we'll actually be going up through the satellites that are in orbit, and then going down to northern Luzon. So we would even have internet service in the case of a typhoon in the future.
All right. And I have another question for Mr. Gani Santos. Thank you so much for the meal last time. It was
You're
so
welcome.
delicious and we all enjoyed it. But I was just curious if you will just add some food on the menu that, the food that we tasted last time was the healthy foods. How about for the people who doesn't want to eat healthy food? Do you plan to incorporate on the menu some, fast food type of foods like burgers or what?
Yeah, well, actually, the last time that you went here, we actually upgraded the menu, and now we have a total of 52 dishes on the menu. And there's a bunch of stuff like bulalo, crispy, what do you call this, bagnet, and yeah, it's actually good for keto, if you think about it. But if you want just to go here and just eat and surprise you, yeah, we also have burger and fries. So yeah.
And another question, last question, because I have a follower who messaged me and then she was just asking, oh, that was a beautiful place. I live in Bakungan and I'm just asking if they are still hiring. Are there any positions available? And
Of course, definitely. We're actually looking for a line cook and a chef at the moment. We are short-handed in the kitchen, but everything is good. I don't know about the other departments though.
So as somebody comes out of the tech industry and did something like 15 different startups, I can tell you that my rule is that we're always recruiting. We're always hiring. Maybe we don't have a spot, but you never know when somebody amazing might walk in and want a job. And you don't pass up somebody who's great, who shows up just because you don't have a spot. You see if you can make a spot. So, our general rule of thumb is that anybody who thinks that they can add value should come and talk to us, and then we'll see if it makes sense to hire them.
Have a question. Okay. Hi, my name is Pao. I'm from Manila. First of all, congratulations for the place. I love the place. You can train and relax at the same time. My question is, from Manila, when I think about Palawan, I always think about El Nido. Why would I want to go to FICO Philippines and this part of Palawan? What would you think would be the alternative, and why should I consider this place over the other more popular place in Palawan?
I think that's a great question. Let me actually answer in a backwards manner. So a few years ago, we went to Boracay, and I did not enjoy myself. And I'll tell you why. It's because while the beach was beautiful, it was absolutely covered in people. It was like black ants everywhere, and I couldn't really enjoy the beach. El Nido has a similar thing going on, right? It's very busy. There's a ton of tourists. It's overloaded. And I've been told, I don't really know because I was only here in the pandemic and so on. I've been told it's not even back to where it was before. What's amazing about our location here is that we're in the rainforest. We have these beautiful views. And then right near us are Nagtavan Beach and Talaodyang Beach, which mostly the locals go to. And they just go on Saturday and Sunday. So Monday through Friday, this incredible beach is basically empty. And you can have it, many, many square meters all to yourself. You can swim in it mostly by yourself. And so I think that there's a lot of really compelling reasons to come here and stay here. And then if you want to on the weekend go to El Nido and Coron, you do it, right? But you can focus on your fitness training here. And then, lastly there, if you've been to El Nido, you know that there's not really room for a 600 square meter gym anywhere in El Nido. It's packed. Everything's packed in. If I was going to put something like this in El Nido, I'd have to put it up near Leo Beach, where Ancla is, and that's 45 minutes away from downtown El Nido, right? So I think this is actually a better spot in many ways, and El Nido is easily accessible.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I went to Nagtabon and it was beautiful. It was an underrated beach and you have it by yourself. So if you really want to unplug, this is a great place. A follow. Go
Not
ahead.
only that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, pal. Not only that, but what people don't know is there's actually a bunch of secret beaches around here that nobody knows about.
Wow.
There's one just here on the other side of the hill from Nagtabon that you have to climb down and hike down on, and there's literally nobody on it. And there's another one down past Tagkawayan that you can't get to without a 4x4, and there's no people living on it, there's no tourists on it, and there's a bunch of those great places you can find around here if you really want an adventure.
Wow. Now I know I'll be there. I'll go there. Anyway, of course, since this is a fitness resort, I want to also know about your trainers. What are the background of your trainers? Obviously, you come here to rest, to relax, but at the same time to get fit. Tell us more about your trainers and their background. How good are they?
Sure. So one of our senior coaches is Rodel Rice. As I said, he's a former WBO world champion and MMA world champion. He's been boxing and doing MMA and Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a very long time. I don't have his record on hand. And he's been training overseas. So he's trained people in Korea and China and other international spots. So he's got that experience of training pro fighters, amateur fighters, and just regular people at all different levels of fitness. And so he's amazing. And again, one of the things I look for in our trainers is somebody who can figure out where somebody is at and dial into them, whether it's at a beginner level or whether it's at an expert pro level. And you see that here with Rodel when he's training people like me who are older every day versus when he's training our amateurs versus when he's probably going to do some helping out with training Pagara, would be my guess. And then we have Coach MJ or Coach Mike. He's another one of our senior coaches. He's amazing. He's a former pro boxer, but he's also coached multiple professional boxers. Arthur Villanueva, I think, was one of them. So that's amazing. But then we were lucky to steal Mike away from his business. He's actually been running a functional fitness business for a long time called Functional Fitness Academy. And he decided to join us because this is the first fitness resort in the Philippines. And in that business, that functional fitness business, he was focused less on combat sports and more on doing functional and conditioning training and people of all levels. So whether you're big, heavy, old, small, whatever, he would basically design a program around what you needed in terms of functional training, mobility, rehab, and things like that. And he's bringing all of that expertise and training the other coaches on it as well.
All right, my final questions. Secret beach, exclusive beach, and world champion boxers. I don't know why no one has asked this question. If someone's watching right now, how do we reserve? How do we get to Fight Club Philippines? What do we do?
If you want to do a reservation, you can go through the website, fightclubphilippines.com. You can also message us via Facebook Messenger or Instagram, which seems to be very popular. And you can always mail info@fightclubphilippines.com, and we'll be happy to assist you with the booking. We found that even though there's an automatic reservation system, that people usually have a lot of questions and they want to know about different things. Maybe sometimes they want to see pictures, and we're happy to engage with them and answer all those questions so that they can feel comfortable making their reservation.
So wow. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that everything I've heard tonight got me really excited for what FCP or Fight Club Philippines has in store for us. So I guess there's no other questions, right? So I guess that wraps up our media press conference for tonight. Sorry. Thanks for being here, everyone, and thank you for sharing this exciting moment with us. We hope you are as pumped up and as we are getting ready to launch Fight Club Philippines Fitness Resort, the first ever concept of that here in the Philippines. So before you go, I'd like to give a big shout out, of course, to our founders for making all this possible. And of course, to you guys for supporting us, for being here, and we're really stoked that you're here to support us. So, all right. So before we end this event, I'd like also to have this chance to invite everyone for our upcoming Battleground event on August 12. That's gonna be in Sports Complex. This is in partnership with the city government of Puerto Princesa. So we hope we see you guys there for all the sports enthusiasts as well as everyone. We hope to see you guys there. So again, thank you so much, guys, for being here, and we hope to see you around here at Fight Club Philippines. Thank you and good night.
Thank you so much. And now let's proceed to the recall.